My producer, James, the little white racist, my producer is, gave me this story, and I had never heard of the Satanic Temple. I don't know what it means or anything. And so I was asking him some questions about it. Yesterday we were preparing for the show here. So I decided, well, you know what, I'll ask the guest. And we have a guest from the Satanic Temple. He is the High Priest Brian Werner. He is the High Priest of the Satanic Temple. But I want to bring in Brian, and we will get you some calls at 888-7753-773. Brian, good morning and welcome to the show.
Hello, Jesse. How are you?
All is well. Thank you so much for coming on. A few things about the Satanic Temple. I've never heard of this before. I don't know what it means and what you guys do.
Sure. Are you familiar with Anton LaVey?
No.
Anton LaVey was the founder of the Church of Satan, which is an organization we are not affiliated with at all. However, he wrote several books in his lifetime in the 60s and 70s. It's a very humanist, natural religion. It's actually the extreme lack of religion. We're atheists, so we don't believe in a heaven or a hell. We believe in the tenets of personal sovereignty, respect for mind and body. However, when you embody these traits as a free-thinking individual in this country without association with the religion, you are denied all the rights and privileges that other groups have. So it wasn't until we adapted ourselves as a religion that we can now enjoy the same rights and privileges that everybody else can, whether it be trying to teach BS creationism in school or whatever it might be, whether it be the Hobby Lobby situation here, where we believe that a woman's right to her body is her choice and not some Christian lawmakers. In the Hobby Lobby situation...
You support same-sex marriage and all that crap, too?
Here's the thing. Marriage was around for thousands of years before Christianity. It was never theirs to define. So the fact that when Christians come in, if you don't want to let two gay people get married in your church, that's absolutely fine. But as a tax-paying free citizen in this country, you have the right to walk down to the county clerk's office, file the paperwork, and receive the same tax and insurance benefits as everybody else, as long as you are a tax-paying free citizen in this country.
So is that a yes?
What was that?
Is that a yes?
That's an absolute yes.
Oh, okay.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Let me ask
There's
this.
a thing in this country called separation of church and state. I'm sure if most people are aware of that. You cannot use your religion to indoctrinate and codify law that represents and co-opt the entire voice of the people. You can't do that. It's wrong.
Let me ask. So the Satanic Temple, is that a church building, a temple?
Yeah, we are a national organization with, at this point, with 10,000 plus members, with physical locations in multiple cities.
And so, do you go to this church, whatever you call it, Sunday mornings or every day or Saturdays or when?
No, organization is left up to the individual chapter houses. What you call a mass, we call a proclamation of personal sovereignty. We don't believe that, praying for something is going to bring some sort of supernatural entity down from the sky and intervene in our lives. I'm not that ignorant. But we encourage people to look within, not above.
And when you look within, what are you looking for?
Yourself. Understand that you are your own God. Your choices and your decisions affects the outcome of your life.
So you created yourself?
Yeah, absolutely. Every man creates his own heaven. Every man creates his own hell.
Brian, how did you create yourself?
Well, let's see. I'm 34 years old. I grew up on the streets of Chicago. I was 14 years old and homeless half my life. I'm adopted. My mother was raped.
How did you create this body that you live in?
I'm explaining that. So at 21 years old, I finally graduated high school. By 23, I became a commodities broker. I made my first $1 million by 28. I blew it, spent it, and now I own 7 different registered S corporations in excess of over $1 million in revenue a year. Again, I should be unpacking boxes at UPS right now, but because a person can have perseverance and direction, and they can achieve anything they want in this world.
But Brian,
It's just
how
a
did
matter
you
of
create
personal
your
limitation.
body? How did you create your body?
Easy. My mother had sex with my father, and I came out.
So you didn't have
Biology
anything.
101.
So you didn't have anything to do with that personally, right?
No. But do I have the choice
Okay.
to continue living, or do I have the choice to end it? Yeah, absolutely.
So you
So
didn't create.
everything in life is a choice.
So you didn't create your own body. You had nothing to do with that. How about the spirit that lives in your body?
You mean the spirit that you can't prove it? You mean the spirit that you can't prove exists?
Where did you get
the burden of proof? If you're going to make an exaggerated claim like the existence of a soul or a spirit, well, then the burden of proof falls on you to offer evidence to support your exaggerated claim. The burden doesn't fall on me to come up with contradictory evidence.
Brian,
If
do
I
you
say the
have
sky is
life
purple,
in your
I better
body?
have some evidence to support that.
Do you have life in your body?
Do I have light in my body?
Life.
What does that
No,
even mean?
life.
No.
Life, not light.
Yes,
life.
My heart beats, and if my heart stops beating, you can put a defibrillator on my heart and re-kickstart my heart and bring me back to life.
And how did you put this life in your body?
Easy. I said that before. My mother had sex with my father. I was the outcome. That's what happens when two biological creatures procreate. It's very simple.
I'm trying to get a really good understanding of what you guys are about. So you go to this place that you call the Satanic Temple, and do you worship Satan? What do you guys say in the building? What do you do? What do you do while you're there?
Satan to us is a metaphorical construct, no different than the American flag representing freedom. And you don't dissect the stars and the stripes. You look at the whole image, and then you know what that means. To us, the representation of Satan or the adversary represents our rejection of arbitrary authority and the quest for personal sovereignty of mind and body. I fight for the right to be left alone.
So you see Satan as a joke?
No, I see it as a metaphorical symbol.
But let me ask, when you go inside of your building, is there a high priest standing up in front of you guys talking to the folks who are sitting down? Is it like a church? And what are you guys talking about? What do you talk about? What do you talk about?
Well, the difference with us is when I speak or when Lucian speaks, we encourage our congregation to go out and read for themselves, as opposed to a church where you have one guy that says, I am the Word of God. You need to listen to what I say. And in all honesty, the Bible to most Christians is like a software license agreement. None of them actually read it. They just scroll to the bottom and they click, I agree.
Brian, let me ask, when you are Lucifer is standing up in front of your audience, what are you saying to them? What are you talking about?
It depends on what the topic at hand is.
Like what, for example? What do you and Lucifer talk about?
Obviously, launching the monument that we're putting up in Oklahoma next to the monument of the Ten Commandments, or whether it be the Black Mass that we had at Harvard, or whether it be us holding the same-sex satanic ceremony over the grave of Fred Phelps' mother from the Westboro Baptist Church, or any of the Hobby Lobby situation. A lot of it's more of a political rather than a spiritual conversation of, how are we as a group going to move forward, and what are our goals, and how do we achieve said goals.
Why does this other guy carry the name Lucifer? Isn't that the name of Satan?
No, Lucian.
Oh, I thought you said Lucifer.
Spokesperson for our temple.
Oh, okay. When you guys go to your temple, you just talk about how to bash the good folks?
No. Actually, man, me and you probably have more commonality than we do differences.
How is that?
We all support the same things. We both choose freedom. We both choose, the right to be left alone and to have personal choice. You don't want to have somebody like me telling you what to do.
But I
don't want to have,
I choose God and you don't.
Well, you know what? That's the freedom of choice. I may not, it's like the old poet Voltaire once said, I may hate and despise everything that you have to say, but I'll fight to the death to defend your right to say it. And that's the difference between us. I would fight for your right to worship God. Would you honestly say that you would fight for my right not to? That's the difference in the situation.
No. I don't know what you mean by fight for it, but I do fight for the freedom of this country, and you do have the freedom to deny God and worship Satan.
Exactly. This country was founded on the basis of religious freedom. So it's very astonishing to me how 200 years later people can't seem to get that through their head, that we have the same religious freedoms that you enjoy.
So you people are
Why
really,
is it okay?
You people are really
atheists,
huh? You people are really atheists.
take the word Christian
Brian,
out of the Hobby Lobby situation.
Brian, you people are really atheists then. The Church of Satan, the Church of the Satanic Temple.
We are the Satanic Temple. We are not affiliated with.
But
the
you're
Church of Satan.
atheists, right?
We are atheists, but as an atheist, I don't have the
Let
right
me ask,
that
where
every
do
other
you,
religion has.
Brian, where do you get your values from?
Easy, myself and the way I was raised. You know, if you need religion to guide you morally, then you lack empathy, not religion. I don't need a 2,000-year-old book to tell me that killing and stealing is wrong. I know that because I have empathy. I've been stolen from. I've been hurt before. I know how that feels, and I don't wish to portray that onto somebody else.
Were you ever a Christian? Were you ever a Christian?
Yeah, I was raised Catholic. My family is very evangelical. I've read the Bible cover to cover, and I find it for the repulsing piece of garbage that it is.
Your father and mother are Christians?
Yes, devout, born again, absolutely, and that came about recently.
And so you were raised,
being Italian, I was raised Catholic.
And you were raised by your both parents. Who were you closest to while growing up?
I never met my father, so only my mother.
Oh, no wonder.
Well, no, I had a stepfather that was in my life since I was 2 years. I've had a stepfather that was involved in my life since I was 2 years old, and he is my father to me.
Well, I'm sorry to hear that, man.
The man loved and cared for me since I was a small child. I care about him very much.
Where's your dad?
Unknown.
Do you desire to see him?
No. Not at all.
Did you desire to see him?
I desire to see him about as much as he's desired to see me in the last 34 years.
So you do.
I got over my mommy and daddy issues a long, long time ago.
Why are you angry at your father then?
I'm not angry at my father.
Yes, you are.
Oh no, I could care less. How can I be angry with somebody I never knew?
That's why you're angry.
Yeah, no, I'm not angry at all. Like
you're
I said,
angry because
I grew up with a great father. My father was amazing. He was a great guy. He
Brian,
just happened to not be blood, but that doesn't make him any less of my father.
Brian, you're angry because your father was not there for you, and that's why
are you so angry?
And that's why you turned. Hold on, calm down. That's why you've turned away from God. Because you hate your father.
Are you just that blind and delusional? I mean, really? Whoever said I was angry? I didn't say I was angry. You said I was angry. You made a false accusation and called me angry, which that isn't even the case.
No, you are. You're very
redundancy of the conversation.
Brian, you're a very angry person.
No, I'm not at all. I'm actually probably one of the most blissful, happy people you could ever meet in life.
It's all fake.
There is a type of
it's all fake.
And a type of beauty that one can find in life when you truly and unequivocally don't care. And that's the type of person I am. I don't care. I don't care about politics. I don't care what's popular. I don't care what other people believe as long as they stay out of my house.
Brian,
that's all I care about.
You are one of the most unhappy people on earth. You put on a fake person.
What are you talking about? First of all, you've never even met me, so that's a very gross.
You put on a fake personality in public. But in the privacy of your own room,
what are you talking about?
When no one else is around,
you can make this assumption about how I am in the privacy of my own home when you've never even shook my hand as a man before.
When no one else
make that sort of assumption on how I act in my own home.
When no one else is,
how do I know that you don't go home and do some sadomasochism and stuff and get a ball gag in your mouth with a hooker with a dildo up your ass?
Brian,
I mean, really,
Brian, you can't speak like that on the radio. Hey, calm down. You can't talk like that on the radio.
Then quit making gross over-assumptions on things you know absolutely nothing about. Typical Christian.
Brian.
Typical Christian.
Brian.
A person that,
Relax, man.
They have the facts in front of them, and they make these over-assumptions on things they know nothing about.
Brian, in the privacy of your home where you are alone and no one is around.
You mean when I'm in the privacy of my home with my wife and kids?
You're one of the most unhappy.
How the hell do you even know that?
Conflicted.
You don't know that. You just made that up. You just made that up, and now you want to walk around saying it's a fact. It's not a fact.
No.
You have no evidence to support that.
I have no doubt about that.
You've never been to my home. You've never met my family. How the hell can you even make that sort of assumption? You can't.
Look how you carrying on. A happy person wouldn't carry on this way.
You're right, because I don't like the character assassination.
Because you're an angry person.
Excuse me?
Because you're an angry, unhappy man.
You're right. I am angry with people that feel as though that they have the right to impose their religious
No, you're
beliefs on
angry
everybody.
because your father wasn't there for you, and you turned
What
against
are you
God.
talking about? I just told you like 5 times I had a father in my life.
But he's
He just
not your
happened to
real
not be
father.
blood.
He's not your real
My father
father.
married my mother when I was 2 years old. I don't
Let's get
remember
to
not
the-
having him there. So what the hell are you talking about?
Well, you just proved my point that you're an angry male. But
You're
let's
right.
get.
I'm angry with people like you.
But you
that
said
think
you
that
were
you have
not.
the right to tell everybody else how to act.
You
Who
said
the
you
hell
were
do you
not.
Think you are?
You said you were not an angry person. You lied.
No, I'm not an angry person when I'm at home.
Oh.
When I
Oh,
go out in
Jesus.
the world and I have to deal with ignorant people like yourself that are making these gross assumptions about a person's character that they've never met. You think that you have the right to go and spread your word of God, codify law that makes everybody else follow your rules. Well, newsflash, dude. Most of the country doesn't believe what you believe.
But
we have
dude,
Christians,
but
Jews,
dude,
Muslims,
dude.
Hindus, Buddhists,
Dude.
atheists. Most of those people don't believe it. So what the hell do you think that you have the right to go ahead and tell other people how to live their life and codify law to make it happen?
Brian.
You going after laws like this is no different than Sharia law.
Hey,
And I
dude.
see it for the same thing.
Hey,
and
dude.
it's very funny to me because if you took that Hobby Lobby situation and
ba-
you remove the word Christian
Let's
from that
get to that.
situation and
Hold
input
on.
the word Muslim, you'll find all the people that
Brian.
are supporting Hobby Lobby foaming at the mouth against it.
Brian, let's get to the Hobby Lobby situation so people
Sure.
can know what you're talking about. But we're coming to a break here. Can you hold
Okay,
over
no
so
problem.
we can take some calls and deal with?
Absolutely.
Okay, but let me tell you this. The only way you're going to ever be happy, Brian, you got to forgive your father for not being there with you.
Dude, what are you talking? You don't even know a thing about me.
You do.
Forgive my father.
Yeah.
Why don't you forgive Jesse Jackson?
And then forgive your mother.
Or why don't you go forgive Al Sharpton?
I don't
Well,
hold
let's
anything.
start with you because you seem to have a whole bunch of stuff in your closet too, dude.
I don't
Want me to
hold
start airing your
anything.
dirty laundry on there?
I
I'd
don't
gladly do
hold.
it.
Hey. I don't hold anything against.
Yeah, well, you seem like a very angry person too when I
Sharpton.
bring up the topic of Al Sharpton or Jesse Jackson.
How
You
is
seem to
that?
be pretty angry too, so maybe you need to go forgive your
Brian,
grandmother.
Brian, calm down.
Oh wait, that's right. Your grandmother had nothing to do with the situation.
Brian, calm down. I would suggest you forgive your father and mother, and then you can.
I would
then you
suggest
could know
before you-
God. Then you would know God. All right?
Your ignorance is amusing.
Let me take a break. When I come back, I want you to tell the folks about the Hobby Lobby situation, and we'll take some calls. Back in a moment.
There's a devil around you all of the time. There is nothing to fear, nothing's wrong with your mind. There's a devil around you all of the time. There is nothing to fear, nothing's wrong with your mind. There's a devil around you all of the time. There is nothing to fear, nothing's wrong with your mind. There's a devil around you.
That's funny, Andre. Welcome back. I'm Jesse Lee Peterson. Thank you so much for being with me. The lines are smoking right now, but the number to call in is 888-77533. What am I saying? Maybe I'm being seduced by a Satanist. 888-775-3773. 888-77 Jesse. I'm talking to the high priest of the Satanic Temple, Brian Werner, and they have a press release out saying Satanists leverage Hobby Lobby ruling in support of pro-choice initiative. Brian, what is that all about?
Well, essentially, Hobby Lobby trying to assert their right of religious freedom to adjust their insurance policies to deny women the legal act of abortion. Well, guess what? That works both ways. If you can codify law based on your spirituality, well, then we can do the same.
And so you want a nonprofit status as they have?
No, we don't believe in having nonprofit. We believe religion should pay taxes like everybody else. We are actually listed as an LLC, not a 501 religion, because we actually believe in paying our taxes. Maybe most Christians should, try and do the same too.
Hobby Lobby is exempt from passing out or giving their employees, the women, contraception or abortion pills or whatever it is that
Yeah,
they want.
which I feel is
They
wrong.
don't-
It's not your employer's place to tell you what you can and cannot do with your own body.
But isn't it
But
true
following
that
up with that,
Hobby Lobby?
I will say,
Isn't it true
I will
that
say
Hobby
as a
Lobby
business
have
owner,
right? Isn't it true that Hobby Lobby has a right to that?
Well, that's what I was just going to say. Even though I disagree with it, as a business owner myself, I own 7 registered S corporations. I have 100+ employees. As a business owner myself, I do believe that everybody has the right to run their company the way that they see fit. Nobody's got a gun to your head telling you you have to work for Hobby Lobby. So that part of that freedom, I respect. And then hence the reason why we wouldn't send the government in to shut down something that we don't like, something that Christians do on a very regular basis. They see something they don't like, and they feel as though they have the right
You're
to not
just
be
making up
offended.
stuff.
Well, that doesn't happen.
You do
Well,
realize that nonprofits help people, and that's why they're exempt.
Really? Nonprofits help people?
Yes.
Really? Oh, really? So there's no criminality involved in nonprofits and donation contributions. People using their money for I see it in the news every single day with
But
nonprofit
that still doesn't
organizations.
take
People
away from
the
the
misappropriation of funds, the greed. Are you kidding
That has
me?
nothing
Just because
to
an
do-
organization
Right.
is nonprofit doesn't mean they help people.
Right, that has nothing to do with nonprofits being exempt. But let me ask: there's scientific proof out there now that abortion causes all types of problems for women: cancer, depression.
Sure. Hey, and let me guess, written
And
by
so-
Christian scientists.
And so,
It's funny because I always hear Christians make these exaggerated claims of, there's scientific proof. Really? Cite the proof.
And so
show me
as
the
a re-
report. Show
hold
me the
up,
report
Brian.
signed by. Show me the report signed by a person a scientist, not of your faith. You can do that, and then I might listen to what you have to say next. But you don't.
Brian,
You
and
want to
so
sit here
what
and throw out a
hap-
thing
hold
on,
on.
science is proven. Really? Well, show me the work. Show me the report.
Brian,
but you can't.
Brian,
because
calm
you made it
down.
up.
Calm down, man. You're not acting like a man right now.
I'm trying to finish my question. You keep interrupting me. So
I know,
I'm gonna
but you're
finish my
not.
answer.
You're not acting like a man. Calm down.
I'm acting like a man, brother. But
No,
like
you're
I
not.
said, if you ask me a question, I'm going to finish my answer. If you choose to interrupt me, I'm just going to keep talking.
In your press release, you guys, because of all the scientific proof that abortion causes other types of problems for women, there are doctors who, by law, have to tell a woman that before she has an abortion. Your Satanic temple, if I read this correctly, you had the women in your temple sign an agreement or something to the doctor saying they don't want to hear all that. They just want to have an abortion. Am I saying that right?
No. Essentially what it is, when they go into a place that does not allow them to have an abortion because some Christian has a codified law against it, this would give the same legal precedent for them to be able to have the choice over what they can and cannot do to their own body. Who are you? If me and my wife decided to have an abortion, who are you in California to tell my wife what she can't do? How would you feel if I came to your house and started telling your wife what she can and cannot do to your body? How offended would you be?
Do you think that taxpayers should pay for your abortions?
No, absolutely. Well, it depends. How many taxpayers are willing to step up and adopt a whole bunch of crack babies? No, they aren't.
So you think taxpayers should pay?
Preborn.
Do I have the freedom not to pay for your abortion?
Yeah, I would say so. But then again, once that baby's born, who's taking care of it? Oh, that's right. You're going to pay a lot more in taxes for welfare, subsidized housing, education. You're going to pay a lot more in taxes to support that kid for the next 18 years than you are going to be to terminate an unwanted pregnancy.
Does the baby have a choice to live or die?
No, because the baby is in the embryo. It's not a human being. An acorn is not a tree. A silkworm is not a dress. A sperm cell going into an egg cell is not a human being.
Brian,
this is not a difficult concept.
Let's take some calls. Let's go out to Nashville, Tennessee, and talk to Jarvis. Jarvis, good morning, sir, and welcome to the show.
Hey. Get right to it. He said something about religion being something stupid and controlling or something like that. I think he said something in that manner. But his way of believing as far as going to that temple, that is a religion as well, because that's a creed that you live by. So If religion
I
is
know.
so
I already
ignorant,
explained that. We are a
But
religion
if it's so
because it's not
ignorant-
until
but
we
if it's so-
codify ourselves as a religion do we receive the same rights and privileges that you assume with your church.
but atheists say they don't believe in religion, so you contradict
I know
yourself
we don't. That's my whole point that you seem to keep missing. We are not a
Then number
religion.
two-
It wasn't until we called ourselves a religion did we get the same rights and privileges associated with being a religion.
So
if
it
I walk
is-
around saying I'm a free-thinking individual, I no longer have the right of freedom of religion or the rights that are associated with that.
So it is a
That's the
mockery
reason-
that you guys are putting on.
No, we had to call ourselves. For example,
Right.
the monument that we're building in Oklahoma. If they had the statue of the Ten Commandments sitting right there. If I said, hey, let's put up a statue of Baphomet, well, you can't do that. That's just evil. Well, no, actually, we can because now
Why
we're
don't
a
you do that
religion.
where you
Now
live
you
at?
can't deny us.
Do that where you live at. Why don't you do that where you live at? How about you just
Oh,
do that in your own little
because the
personal
problem is
backyard?
they didn't build a Ten Commandments monument outside of my state capital. Otherwise,
You didn't
had they
get here-
done that, I would have done it there.
Well, I hate to tell you, you idiot, you didn't get here by yourself. I hate to tell you that.
You're right. We
I
already
hate
covered
to
that.
tell
My
you
mother
that.
had sex
It
with
had
my
nothing to
father.
do
That's
with
how I
that.
got here.
No, it ain't had nothing to do with that. You need to recognize what's
No,
going
that's
on,
exactly
huh?
what it had to do with. I
No.
think you need to go back to like high school biology.
And
Maybe you
then-
failed
no.
sex ed and you don't know how babies are made.
Hey, let me tell you something. You trust that book that changes on the daily basis, a science book that
I
changes
trust
on
what
the
I
daily
see.
basis.
You want to tell me about trust in a book yet you read from the Bible? Are you kidding
The
me?
Bible don't change
Okay,
every day.
let's quote a
Science
few.
book
Let's
changes
quote a
every
few. Let's quote a few Bible verses, shall
The
we?
science book
Luke 9.
changes every day. The science book changes every day.
Yeah, I know. You know why? Because it's called
Every
discovering
day.
new evidence
Every day. That means
and
it's a lie.
furthering your
It's a lie.
hypothesis.
It is a lie because they don't know what it is. It's a lie. You know that.
Let me take a break. Thank you, Jarvis. Back in a moment. Scientists has proven that abortion causes breast cancer for many women, depression, and I know not a whole lot, but many women who have had abortion, they're very depressed. It's hard for them to overcome it. And the Satanic Temple is in denial about it. Hobby Lobby has been given exempt status, so they don't have to pass out contraception and all this stuff that these people want. The Satanic Temple is not happy about that. Brian is with me. He's one of the high priests of the Satanic Temple. Brian, you online you have a shirt on that says "Abort Christ." Why do you hate Christ so much?
That was a joke shirt, and then you would also fail to take it out of context that I was wearing that shirt on stage in front of 2,000 people.
But why
It's
do you
called
hate?
performance
Why
art.
do you want to abort Christ?
It's a joke. You obviously can't abort somebody that never existed.
Let's go to Jimmy out of Millbrook, Alabama. Jimmy,
My main question here, this young man, is why are you so full of hate? What did your mother do to you to make you hate her?
Actually, yeah, it's quite the opposite, bud. It's not about hate. It's about respect. I respect other people. I respect Christians for what they believe. I respect Jews. I respect Muslims for what they believe. Only thing we're fighting for is for that same equal respect, which we never receive. So yes, when you get this,
Why do you need so much attention? Why do you personally need people to look at you and call your name and you get all that attention? Why do you need that?
First of all, I don't do any of this for publicity. I play in one of the largest death metal bands out there. I tour the world constantly. I got thousands of people screaming our band name every night.
You tour the world for attention. Why you need attention?
Well, yeah, I'm a musician. Every musician in the world,
I'm a
whether it be
musician,
blues,
sir.
whether it be blues, jazz, or concert
I'm a
pianist.
musician.
Okay,
I'm a
do you not
musician.
perform?
I don't
Do you not
need
perform
attention.
live? Do you not perform live? Well,
I
when you
have,
perform
but
live,
not-
are you not looking for the same attention that you just accused me of?
No,
Oh, so you don't perform live?
not anymore. But the attention I'm talking about.
But when you did, you
Brian.
performed live because you wish to share with the world the music that you created, and you want to get the gratification for your art.
Brian, I
Well,
think
what's
he's
wrong
saying
with that? It's no different. I just do it on a much bigger level.
Brian,
What
the point
do you
is,
call
Brian,
bigger?
hold on, Jimmy. The point is, Brian, you are very angry at your father not being there, your mother for what she did to you, and you're in denial about it. And that's
you're
what
very
Jimmy's
angry
talking
as
about.
well, so.
Thank you, Jimmy. I appreciate it. Let's go to Kristen out of Canton, Michigan. Kristen, welcome to the show. You're on with Brian.
Hey, how you doing? Good morning, guys.
All is well, sir.
Hey,
Thanks for calling.
What's up, buddy? How are you?
Hey, pretty good. Hey, I'm an atheist myself.
Okay.
That's why I heard you on the radio and I decided to call in. My first question is, if you're an atheist, if that's the base of your movement, why do you include the word Satan or Satanist?
Because
Satanist?
atheist, by definition, can't be a religion. Anton LaVey wrote in 1966 what Satanism meant to him, and we've adopted that philosophy of it's a metaphor for us. We don't believe in a god or a devil, but that adversarial image, the metaphor, to be more confrontational against the religious right. When you start a church like the Spaghetti Monster, I find just to be laughable. But as a free-thinking individual, much like yourself, man, if you walk through life and say, well, I'm a free-thinking individual, now no longer do you have the rights that you can get if you call yourself a religion. Since we've codified ourselves as a religion.
Why do you
now,
hate the Christians so much?
Because they feel as though they have the right to tell everybody else what to do. And 9 times out of 10, they're the biggest hypocrites out there. That's why we call them hypocrites.
Did they tell you what not to do? Because what you're saying is not true, but did they tell you?
They tell us that we can't have same-sex marriage. They tell us that our women don't have a choice over the rights of their body. They tell us that they can build monuments at state capitol buildings, but nobody else can. Are you joking? I mean, how about the other
Go ahead, Christian. Hold on, Brian.
in Michigan that was printing Bible
I want to get
verses
some more
on
calls in. Go ahead, Christian.
Yeah, the point I wanted to make about that is
Sure.
If you add that type of label to yourself, and is it just for shock value? Is that kind of what you're?
It comes with the stigma, and that I can definitely understand and respect. It definitely turns off, more higher educated atheists that don't want to be, lumped in with this satanic stigma. And obviously, through generations of character assassination by Christians, you hear the word Satanist, automatically people are thinking blood sacrifice and summoning demons, and that's really not the case at all. That's where we encourage people to go home and pick up a book and read it for yourself and judge it for yourself. I would have no doubt that if a man of your, like yourself, wouldn't look up the 9 satanic statements, you'd read it and go, dude, I believe in every last thing that this thing says.
Christian?
This is what I believe.
Okay, well, one thing to point
Sure.
out to you too is I hear what you're saying, but when you put titles like that on yourself and you present yourself in that way, and I understand you're emotional about the topic and you're passionate about it. But you put yourself out there as being angry, as confrontational. I really think you dampen your message or what you're trying to get across.
Well, it's clear that Brian is a hater.
We have 2 sides to that.
Brian, it's clear that you are a hater. You have a lot of anger.
Oh,
and
you're right. I'm not denying that.
And
but
you
my
are,
hate is not
and your
going to my
nature,
father like you
and your
claim.
nature is that of your father, the devil. You just don't want to admit it out, but you do serve Satan.
Oh, another thing too, I just want to ask. You made a
Sure.
good point about Hobby Lobby. Now, I'm an atheist, but I do support religious freedom, and I support the Hobby Lobby being a private business. They're allowed to run their business however they want, as long as they're not physically harming. Then if you agree with that, what are you fighting against? That's what I don't understand.
Because where does it stop? Is what gets me. It's a very, very slippery slope.
But you're a hypocrite. You don't want to be stopped, but you want Hobby Lobby to be stopped. That doesn't make sense.
I'm not saying I want Hobby Lobby to stop.
You said where does it stop?
With it, what are you fighting against? Agreement with it.
We're fighting for number one, like I said before. Nobody's got a gun to your head telling you have to work at Hobby Lobby, but it sets a legal precedent that ends up being a very slippery slope. That as soon as they're allowed to do this, they're allowed to do anything else.
You contradict yourself. You do hate your father because I asked why didn't you want to see your father, have anything to do with him? You say because he doesn't want to have anything to do with you. How do you know that?
No, because I've never met the gentleman.
But how do you said he didn't want to meet you?
It's a little hard to hate somebody I don't even know his name.
But you said you did not want to meet him because he didn't want to meet you. How do you know he does not want to meet you?
Because he dated my mother for years. He knew I was pregnant. He disappeared before I was born.
Did your mother tell you that he didn't want to see you?
Oh, I know. I've talked to my father's sister, my maternal aunt.
I wouldn't believe the lies.
I know this for a fact.
I wouldn't believe those things.
Assumptions.
And secondly, there are people who will adopt And I know people who have adopted
Yeah.
so-called
I'm
crack.
raised by my mother. I'm adopted by my stepdad.
I
He
know
is my
people who have
father. He's been
adopted
there my
crack,
whole life. I
crack
have a dad.
babies. Let's go to Guy out of Phoenix, Arizona. Guy, you're on with
Hey,
Brian.
good morning, Jesse,
Hey.
and thanks for exposing this guy. When he called, he says he grew up on the streets of Chicago, homeless, and he became a millionaire and all this other good garbage. This man is a liar, and all he's trying to do is get across a political point.
Oh, really? The difference is
and
I have the tax
hey,
returns
buddy,
to prove
let
it.
me
So.
talk. Hey, let me talk. I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to Jesse.
Well, you
Not
called
you,
in and I'm on
fool.
the phone,
Hey,
so guess
fool.
what? You're going to deal
Not
with it.
you. He's an angry man that lied right at the
And you're an
beginning of the
ignorant
thing,
person
and he
that knows
keeps on
absolutely
lying.
nothing
He
about
don't
me.
know
So
even
I
where
like
he
you calling me a
stands up.
liar
Hey,
when you have absolutely no
I just
evidence
called
to
you a
support your
liar.
facts. You live in Arizona.
You are a liar.
I'd like to know how you were so familiar with my upbringing in Chicago.
Hey, big streets, and you became a millionaire. Big whoopee-doo.
Yeah, well, you
rock
called me a
star.
liar, and
Big
I got backed it up with I have the tax
You
returns to
perform
prove it.
in front of a
How's
bunch
life
of
living in the
kids
trailer,
with
dude?
much. You without any common sense, and you have
Without any
no
common sense, please
at
tell me
all.
more how the
Hey,
world was
you
created by
are
a woman who was made out of rib, convinced by a talking
You're
snake
a
deep from a
liar.
mess.
You're a liar.
What?
You're a liar.
I'm a liar. Is that
You're
really
a
all the
liar.
ammunition you have? Is
You're
you're
a
a liar
liar.
with nothing to back
Brian,
it up?
thank you for coming on.
You don't
I
even
appreciate
know
it.
Who you're
Thank you, Brian.
Of a new destiny. Views expressed by guests and callers on today's program may not necessarily represent the views of the station.